So let's talk about some gotchas in the standard form notation. Some things that uh, you're going along taking your test and you think you've got the standard form figured all right. You know how to use it. You know how to get the intercepts out of it, but then you get marked down points just because like technically like you had a fraction as a coefficient. That's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. Or like the x in front, that coefficient was negative. Yeah, you're also not supposed to do that. So let's let's write. So one thing, let's say that we had a question: y equals 3 half x plus 1. How do you convert that to standard form? So your sequence of steps might be like, oh, Justin just told me to move this 3 halves x to the other side, so that's what I'm going to do. Negative 3 halves x plus y equals 1. And now I'm done, and now I can graph it. Well, yeah, that will get you the right graph, but there's some kind of rule that in standard form, you're not supposed to have a negative on the leading variable here, and also you're not supposed to have fractions. So to get rid of fractions, why don't we'll multiply by 2, because that's the denominator here. Multiply everything by 2. So we've got negative 3x plus 2y equals 2. And then to get rid of the negative, we can multiply by negative 1. So then we've got 3x minus 2y equals negative 2. And now that's our standard form that we want. So if you're being asked this like an exam or anything, this is what you want to put. You don't want to put this, thing, even though it's technically, it'll get you there to the right graph of it. This is the actual definition of standard form. Why don't we do another thing? Okay, here's a question. What if we have 2y plus 5x equals 4, something like that? That looks okay, right? No, actually, you're supposed to switch the x and the y around. X should always come first. Again, this isn't like a mathematical truth that like in all equations, x needs to come first or else the equation is wrong or anything. But it's just a matter of if somebody asks for this specific notation on the test, then I guess the question is to satisfy the requirements of that notation. And this notation requires that x comes first. So how you would write this, you would just switch it around, right? 5x plus 2y equals 4. And then you're all good. So I know I've been talking kind of partially about these requirements to like can't have a negative, can't have fractions or anything like that. They're just annoying to me because it takes more steps, but I also see where it's coming from because it's a lot easier to, like over here, if you had to decide like what is the x-intercept, well, you'd have to think, well, what do I get when I divide 1 by negative 3 halves? And that's, I mean, it's not exactly hard to do, but it still requires a bit more mental effort than saying just like, what do I get when I divide negative 2 by 3? Like here, you can tell right off the bat it's negative 2/3. Whereas here, it's like 1 divided by negative 3 halves is 1 times negative 2/3. Gotta flip the fraction, equals negative 2/3. Okay. Yeah, so you get the same thing. But it's just a little bit easier to tell that way. So takeaway is just be aware of the technical gotchas here.